This house was built in the 1670s, and I think this is a time that Poland decided to turn to Rome definitively, because this building, which is by Gamelin, echoes very much. When you see it, you think immediately of the Krasiński Palace in Warsaw, and of course that is a Roman building. And I think that this is the moment when Poland, remember the king, Jan Kazimierz, was a Jesuit, he was an ex-cardinal. Poland had just lost half of its Eastern Empire, and I think this is the point that it decided that Roman Catholicism was the future of the country. And I think this is the moment when the monoculture that Poland is now really began. Because it wasn't just the loss of the eastern provinces, but it was also the Swedish deluge, the invasion from the west, from Protestant Sweden, that did so much harm to Poland. What I really like is the fact that the windows, you see there's so much variety. It's not uniform at all. It's sort of, it's almost as if it's a number of different houses. After the enormous effort to rebuild the house, to create this sweeping staircase, this open hall, this majesty of the building, everything has stopped. Since the communist period, what has happened to imagination? What has happened to beauty? Why is there nothing in here that strikes the eye? Oh, and look at that, an air conditioning machine on the facade of a building as beautiful as this. Why do you need an air conditioning machine anyway in a lovely large Baroque room designed to keep you cool? Well, that said, this is a really well-kept garden, as gardens go in public spaces, you know. And they've really made an effort to do it nicely. I mean, if you go to Nieborów, which is a much more important house simply because it survived the war intact, then you're shocked. You're shocked by two things. Firstly, the maintenance of the house itself, because whilst the museum part is quite well maintained, the outer parts of the building are in a terrible condition. There's rising damp, and the roof is going. But the garden's an absolute shambles. Whereas here, you have a house that was just a shell at the end of the war, which they've, well, externally renovated extremely well. But the garden is in a very good condition, you know, and it should be a basic model, this. How to keep a little bit the atmosphere of a garden like this. Very nicely done.